Good evening. Welcome to the May 13th Lebanon City Council meeting. Our first order of business will be the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, move on to the roll call members. Madam Clerk, call roll, please.
Mike Kincaid.
Present.
Keith Campbell.
Here.
Sandra Jasianowski.
Here.
Dick Robertson.
Here.
John Copeland.
Here.
Sierra Messenger.
Present.
Rob Hawkins.
Here.
All right, move on. We don't have the minutes for this week, so we'll get those at our next meeting. First time up will be the swearing in from our 11th Fire Department. Chief Batts.
Good. I'd like to invite Jacob McNair up to the podium. Jacob is in the Pike Township Recruit Academy, doing an excellent job. He's known as one of the top recruits, and we're very proud to have him for him to be a member of our department. So I'd like to invite him. And do you have someone that you'd like to join you? I might need something to stand on. I don't feel short very often, but I don't like standing next to him.
Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jacob McNair,
Solemnly swear
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
laws and ordinances
and all laws and ordinances
of the City of Lebanon,
of the City of Lebanon,
and I will follow all officers appointed over me,
of the officers appointed over me,
and I will faithfully
and I will faithfully
discharge my duties
discharge my duties
as a member of the Lebanon Fire Department. That's my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
I'd like for you to say a few words to council and the mayor.
I'd just like to thank everybody for this opportunity. I'm extremely grateful. I'm excited to finish up the academy and get started helping serve the City of Lebanon. And besides that, I'm very thankful for my mother and my sisters, my girlfriend Kaylee, and my daughter for all their support. Thank you.
Nobody wants to stay, do they?
And the whole room's in.
I thought we had three, but I guess not.
I don't know. I don't
We'll just pause for a minute, let everybody file out. Next up will be our old business. There's nothing on my agenda for old business. Is there anything from council?
No, sir.
Okay, new business then. Can I have consent to take the agenda out of order from council?
Yes, sir.
Consent. I'm going to do item D here, a food and beverage request from the Boone County Mentoring. Matt Wilson.
Evening. I'm Matt Wilson with the Boone County Mentoring Partnership. It's been a few years, I believe, since I've been up here actually for Boone County Mentoring Partnership. I'm usually up here for the big run or something else, but I just wanted to share a little bit about our organization very briefly. For those of you who aren't aware what we do, we actually began as an initiative in about 2011. And it was originally, the mentoring program was originally housed at the Boys and Girls Club. We became our own 501c3 in December 2015, and I became the executive director in March of 2016. We currently have three primary programs under our organizational umbrella: mentoring, our youth assistance program, and the graduation coach. We staff 2 full-time and 2 part-time employees, and we're looking to add a couple more positions. Regarding our mentoring program, we regularly have about 90 to 100 active matches with more capacity available. Unfortunately, there are about 1,200 kids throughout Boone County who just cannot identify a good adult mentor in their life. 2/3 of our matches actually reside here in Lebanon. And 48% of our mentees are male and 52% are female. We have seen quite a longevity of our matches. Now we're seeing young people who have been in our program go on to graduate high school and start, whether it's college or start full-time employment. Some young people have been the first kids or their first generation high school graduates that have gone through our program. Our youth assistance program engages about 50 families each year, engaging them with multiple services in our community, and we're growing the capacity of that program to have a greater impact. And finally, the graduation coach supports approximately 70 students with nearly a 100% graduation rate in that program. Our largest challenges, quite frankly, we need mentors, especially men. The more men that we have step up to volunteer, to be a mentor, the more young men we would be able to get connected and alleviate some of the challenges that they face. And then, so we need mentors, and as we increase our capacity, obviously funding. So, and regarding the request, considering funding, we think it'd be most appropriate to use the funding that we're requesting to enhance our ongoing recruiting efforts for our mentors and to train them so that they can be more effective in their responsibilities. I have more things that I can share, but I didn't want to hijack the entire meeting. So,
John and Sarah, Food and Beverage Committee?
Yeah, so we met with Matt, I think it was last week, and he went over a little bit about the Boone County Mentoring Program. Again, they are a non-for-profit. They started in Lebanon, but they do serve the entire county, like he said. They have about 100 mentors, and they do have kids on the waiting list. So if you know anybody in the community that's a volunteer or you want to be a volunteer, please reach out to them. They're located at 404 West Camp Street, and I'm sure that your email and phone number is listed on their website too, right?
yes.
Yeah. They have about a $270,000 annual budget, and they take money through private donations, fundraising, and grants. And they're requesting $1,500 from the food and beverage, and we gave them a positive recommendation.
Sarah, any questions for Matt from the council?
How many?
How many do we need?
Yeah, you say you were short 1,200?
Well, we based on some research, we anticipate about 1,200 throughout the county, that 1,200 kids in the county who can't identify a good adult role model or mentor in their life.
Not all 1,200 want one. Is that
Not
correct?
necessarily. Correct.
Okay.
How many kids you have on the waiting list at the moment?
We have, I think, 8 or 10, and those are all boys of various ages. We in our mentoring program, we work with kids between the ages of 7 and 17, and most of those kids that are on our wait list are in the later middle school, early high school years.
Most of them don't have a father that's involved with them. Is that correct?
Most of them, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So most of the kids that we work with come from single parent homes, or they're being raised by grandparents, or being raised by aunts and uncles or another family member.
Thank you.
Any questions? Certainly a worthy cause. With that, would entertain a motion from the council.
For 1,500 from the Food and Beverage Fund for the Boone County Mentoring Program.
Okay, a motion. And a second for Mike. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you very much.
Look forward to your success with that. Okay, we'll return to regular order now. Next will be ordinance, or item A, ordinance 2024-07. Council to consider a vacation of unapproved right-of-way adjacent to 1923 Elizaville Road. This ordinance is on first reading. Ben.
Evening, Council. Just give you a quick overview of the request is for you here to be introduced for tonight. This is a request to vacate street right-of-way. And actually, it's unimproved street right-of-way that you'll see here in this exhibit. This is property along Elizaville Road. When these lots were platted along Elizaville Road, I think the expectation was the land behind it and to the east may develop as additional residential uses. That is not how this has played out. All the land behind there is owned by Lebanon schools and is all accessed from other methods. And there's no expectation that that will develop as anything other than what it is now anytime in the future. And as you can see here, not only is this not being used as a public street right away, but it's actually being used by the private landowners that are on either side of this right of way as their driveway. So it is essentially already used by the private landowners and not in any way from the public. For street. So we did receive a request from the homeowner, Mr. Reagan. He is the property to the north here. And the proposal would be to vacate of the 50-foot right-of-way, 30 feet to the Reagans and then 20 feet to the property owner to the south. This was reviewed by the Plan Commission, by our technical committee. It does come to you with a positive recommendation from the Plan Commission, and there was a recommendation as part of that to establish an easement for the utilities. There are electric lines that run directly behind this property to the north and south. Since that meeting, the property owners has met with Lebanon Utilities and they refined the request. And what we would do is as part of the recording of the vacation ordinance, if the council did approve it, the property owner would be required to also record an easement along the eastern edge of this property across both of these to accommodate those electric lines. Right now, the lines are essentially run across the property line and they can get access from this public right of way. If it became private property, the utilities wanted to make sure that there was a 15-foot easement along the back of this property to accommodate those electric utility lines. So that's a quick overview of that. This is an ordinance that's up for first reading tonight. There is also a required public hearing that's part of the meeting tonight, and then it would come back to you at your next meeting for consideration on second reading. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Hey, Ben, is there a reason why the driveway is fully in, if you put the map back up again, the kind of the yellow box, it's all like, because I'm just seeing that barn there on the property to the south. I'm kind of worried, like, how are they going to access that if there's not a...
Yeah, that's something we may need to work out there. I'll communicate. The property owner, Reagans are here. Work out certainly if these are different property owners, there might be an issue with access if they don't like each other.
And that's,
so I understand what you're.
That's the only reason I had one of those situations in my office today where someone came in and like they had a little, so that'd be something we may have some agreement in place or something that the person can access that.
That was something I had was looking at earlier today too. Obviously, these property owners are amicable neighbors, but at some point, 20 years from now, that may not be the case. So we need to make sure that the property owner to the south can still get to their garage. So that'll something we'll work out as well as part of the easement discussion.
Okay, great, thank you. Any other questions for Ben on this from the council?
No, sir.
Okay, Robbie, can you read the ordinance, please?
Thank you, Mayor Council. Ordinance 2024-07 states, whereas it's the duty and responsibility of the council to maintain public right-of-way for the benefit of the citizens of the city and to vacate those no longer needed for the benefit of the public. As Ben indicated, there was filed before the Lebanon Plan Commission docket number 24-17 to vacate a portion of unimproved street right-of-way. Again, specifically the 50-foot unimproved street right-of-way between 923 Elizaville Road and 1919 Elizaville Road. That's described in Exhibits A, B, and C. Plan Commission voted 6-0 to send a favorable recommendation to this council. Therefore, be it resolved pursuant to Indiana Code City has the authority to vacate the public right-of-ways and now finds that the public right-of-way identified in Exhibits A, B, and C attached here to are no longer needed for the benefit of the public. There will be a public hearing pursuant to Indiana Code, and the council finds it's proper and necessary to vacate the public right-of-way, again identified in Exhibits A, B, and C. The conveyance of the real estate described in Exhibit A shall be to Craig and Julie Reagan, and the conveyance of the real estate described in Exhibit B shall be to Lester and Lorna Hodgson. I hope I pronounced that correctly. And this ordinance shall be in full force and effect in accordance with Indiana law.
Thank you, Rob. At this time now that I'll open the public hearing on ordinance 2024-07. If you have any public comment, please step forward. State your name for the record and keep comments to 3 minutes if possible. Before or against, we can have a positive public hearing. That'd be nice for a change. Or if you're mad about it, that's fine too. Everybody good with it? All right, seeing no sudden movements then, I'll close the public hearing on ordinance 2024-07. We will take that up at our next meeting. Okay, we're gonna make some tweaks there. So we're gonna take that up our next meeting, which will be Tuesday, May 28th. That's because that's be after Memorial Day at 7:15 p.m. So that'll be on second reading on the 28th. Okay, next item will be resolution 2024-11, additional appropriations fixing stormwater salaries. And this is, I don't see, this is Tanya's name on it, but do you want to introduce and then Rob can read? Have Rob read first, that's fine. All right, so Rob, will have you read the resolution first then.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Council. This resolution 2024-11 is for an additional appropriation. At times, it becomes necessary to appropriate additional funds within the approved budget as contemplated under Indiana law. It's been determined it's now necessary to appropriate more money than was originally appropriated in the annual budget. This requires a public hearing. Therefore, be it resolved, this resolution 2024-11 is to appropriate funds for stormwater personal services. This will be out of Fund 6502 Stormwater in the amount of $15,739.
Rob, for reading. Kelsey.
These are just to cover some of the people that moved around from street to storm and storm to street, and to adjust their FICA, MediPerf, and longevity.
Makes sense. Okay. So there was transfers within the department and their salaries were different. So we had to balance out the funds. Makes sense, everybody?
Yep.
Okay. Any questions on that resolution from council?
No, sir.
Okay. This time then I'll open the public hearing on resolution 2024-11. If you have any public comment, please come forward, state your name for the record, and keep comments to 3 minutes if possible. Okay. Being no sudden movements, then I will close the public hearing on resolution 2024-11. Any further discussion, questions, comments, council?
No, sir.
Okay. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion, we approve resolution 2024-11.
We have a motion to approve and a second from Keith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Okay, that is approved. Yeah, thank you, council. Okay, and last but not least here, we have the final food and beverage request concerning Reese Park. Kevin Krulik.
Thank you. Good evening. I have another food and beverage request for you related to park improvement projects. So, in fact, if I can share my screen here. Well, you know, I can't seem to see the connection right now, so I'll go ahead and discuss this. I think we can go off of memory here. So Reese Park is the soccer complex along Maple Drive that's just west of 39, behind the old Taco John's. behind, kind of wraps around to the west of Bill Estes, formerly Jaggers. So it's that soccer field complex that's back there. And for a number of years, actually dating back to 2017, when the contractor on our East Street reconstruction project had a lot of excess stone that they needed to get rid of, we've had stone parking spaces that were constructed along Maple Drive. They were then expanded in the last couple of years to virtually take up the majority of the frontage of the soccer fields along Maple Drive there. And this was something that was brought forward to me as a priority of the Parks Department, as a priority of the Parks Board, and they put this at the top of their list of things that they wanted to get done sooner rather than later. So we put together, working with John, we put together a request for proposals because we felt this would be below the bidding threshold. We put together that request for proposals. We put together drawings, exhibits, specifications, and we sent this out to 8 different contractors known to do that type of work. And we received quotes from 4 contractors: Baumgartner Asphalt Paving, Milestone Contractors, Reith Riley, and Triangle Asphalt Paving Corporation. So we received those 4 quotes. We reviewed those, and it was determined that the lowest, most responsive and responsible quoter was Triangle Asphalt Paving Corporation, at a cost of turning those stone parking spaces into asphalt parking spaces at $54,100. This was before the Board of Works earlier this evening as the contracting entity for the city of Lebanon, and they have issued a conditional authorization to award that contract, but that contract is subject to funding. And so that's what we're here for tonight, is to discuss the funding of the project. In talking with Mr. Robertson, Council President, he suggested we bring this forward as a food and beverage request for your consideration. And so that's what I'm here for tonight, is to ask for a food and beverage request for $54,100, not to exceed, for the paving of the Reese Park parking spaces.
I just have a quick question. Do you feel like just paving that surface is going to be enough? I know that that area gets really busy with parking, and a lot of people have to kind of park across the street or park different places and walk. I don't know the logistics, the space wise. Like, would it be better to look into like a parking lot, or is the space not there? You need it for soccer fields. You know what I mean? If we're already going to be paving, I don't know if that's maybe.
Completely understand where you're going, and I would say I don't feel, from what I've experienced as a parent of soccer kids, what you probably, many of you have experienced as parents or grandparents or friends of people that have kids playing soccer, the 52 to 54 parking spaces that we're planning to build are there today. They're just stone. And so we would be replacing those, but we wouldn't be really increasing the number of spaces at all. And if you've been associated with that facility, those spaces are full on a normal Saturday during soccer season. And people are parking across the street. People are parking in the laundromat parking lot. People are parking in the Eagles Club there that's right next door as well. So it's not enough parking. The difficulty we would have is the majority of Reese Park is in the floodplain. So building a more substantial parking lot, like up into the grass where we could say get 100 spaces. And I really don't have enough information to tell you how many parking spaces would really be required to fully park all that happens there. We'd have to do some research with the Youth Soccer Association, but that parking would be a permitting nightmare just because it's in the floodplain.
Isn't there kind of a hill there too, that there's kind of a drop off after you get off the parking? There's kind of a
you
swale
definitely
a
come
little
off
bit.
the parking and drop down. But that's why it's all low land. It's great for what it's used for, but it's very, very difficult to build anything on. So to your question, I don't think it's enough parking. I think anyone and maybe John could attest to this as well, I think anyone that's been familiar with that facility knows it's busy.
Yeah, there's not enough parking there. However, I've offered to the Youth Soccer League they can use Southside. We have plenty of available space down there, plenty of parking, restrooms, split it up. They've done a great job of staggering all they can. We are interfering, like you said, with Park Place. They park there, they park in people's driveways. We're doing the best we can. Yes, they do take up Eagles and the laundromat, and they all get pretty upset. They're again, like Kevin said, but if we would go in deeper with the parking lot, the price goes up 4 times, 5 times fold of what he's got there. So we're faced with that. So what I've offered the youth soccer league, move down to Southside like we used to. A long time ago, we got this space, they've outgrown it. So we do probably need to look in the future for more land for the youth soccer because that program keeps growing. So if that helps, that help you? Thanks.
Kevin, has anyone from the soccer group put up money themselves?
Not to my knowledge, the soccer, Lebanon Youth Soccer, LISA, the Lebanon Youth Soccer Association, LISA, has not offered to participate in the construction cost.
It is a city park though, Keith.
I know it is, but I also know others have put a lot of money into that. There were nonprofit ones too, on city property.
I understand. But again, it is a city park, so it's our responsibility, not
I
certain license.
understand that.
It's also worth noting too that our zoning ordinance, our UDO, does not allow for gravel parking, and this has been this way since late 2017. So it is something that we do need to correct, and like I said, it is a high priority of the Parks Board and the Parks Department. They've asked for us to bring this forward and to find a way to fund it. And so that's what we've done. I really appreciate what John was saying. I think we could find ways to distribute the soccer matches throughout the city would really help to ease the burden of parents and trying to get in and out of this facility. And there's really no reason why we can't play soccer where we used to play soccer on the fields at Abner Longley Park. So I don't know what that would look like for LISA in terms of that operation, but I think that would be another solution that needs to be also considered, is to try to separate some of the soccer to take advantage of both facilities.
Evan, does that $54,100 include parking bumpers and striping?
Yes.
Okay.
Does it look like they'll always be there? Are they going to move? Like you said, you're recommending them move. If they did.
I don't know. I really couldn't speak to that. I don't know if John will have any more information. I think they like it there. I think they're growing, and they just need more space. So I think they're probably going to get to a point where they need to be a dual campus organization, and whether it's you put older kids at Reese and you put younger kids at Abner Longley, there's probably a way to figure that out. I get it divides your resources in managing those busy soccer Saturday mornings, but that's probably a solution they're going to have to seriously consider in the short term, because their registration numbers go up every year.
Questions for Kevin? Again, the total amount requested from the Food and Beverage Fund was how much?
$54,100 to Triangle Asphalt Paving Corporation.
I'll go ahead and make that motion that we approve the request of $54,100 from Food and Beverage to go towards the Reese Park paving project.
We have motions, or a second?
Second.
Second from Rob. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That is approved. Council.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes what I have for new business. Is there anything from council?
Nothing from me.
Okay, move on to claims. Entertain a motion concerning the claims.
Make a motion, we pay the claims.
Motion to pay the claims. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from Keith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Sorry, that's still yes, Dick, right? Yes.
Motion adjourned.
We have motion adjourned. Is there a second?
Second.
Second from John. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? All right, just a reminder, our next city council meeting will be Tuesday, May 8th. Again, we're delayed today because of Memorial Day at 7:15 PM. Have a great evening.